You're already on the path to true wealth. Listen carefully, my friend. If you're sitting here right now, alone with your thoughts, perhaps in the quiet hours before dawn or the stillness after everyone else has gone to sleep, and you're feeling that quiet, persistent burn inside, that feeling that the life you're living is no longer enough, that something deeper is calling you, that burn is not anxiety. That burn is evidence you are already on the path to true wealth. Not the kind that flashes on screens or stacks in bank accounts first. The kind that begins in the marrow of a man's character. The kind that the universe cannot ignore once a man has decided to become the frequency it vibrates at. Most people wait for wealth to arrive before they believe they are wealthy. You have reversed the order. You have begun believing, acting, and rearranging your inner world first. And that reversal is the single most powerful move any man can make. True wealth is not a destination you chase. It is a state you embody. And the moment you started embodying it, even imperfectly, you activated the law of correspondence. As within, so without. As you become, so you receive. So let me speak directly to the man you already are becoming. You no longer tolerate conversations that drain you. You used to nod along, smile politely, let the small talk linger because you didn't want to seem too intense or different. Now, you feel the clock ticking in your chest. You feel the finite nature of every breath. So you excuse yourself. You walk away mid-sentence if necessary. Not out of arrogance, out of reverence for your own becoming. That is not rudeness, that is sovereignty. Another sign is the way your calendar has become sacred ground. You once filled every gap with noise, scrolling, meetings that could have been emails, people who could have been texts. Now you guard white space the way a king guards his inner chamber. You block hours for thinking, for reading, for walking in silence, for staring at the wall until the next insight arrives. You say no to lunch invitations, not because you dislike the person, but because you love the man you are building more. That refusal is not scarcity. It is the architecture of abundance. You have also started speaking differently to yourself. The old voice said, "I hope this works. I'll try. Maybe one day." Now the voice inside has changed tense. It says, "I am building. I am becoming. This is happening." You catch yourself before the old language escapes your lips. You correct it in real time. Not because you're faking it, because the old language no longer matches the man standing in your skin. Words are spells. You've begun casting better ones. Look at your mornings now. They are no longer accidental. You used to wake up and let the day drag you. Now you rise and claim it. You move your body before the world can move you. You write before the opinions arrive. You read before the distractions flood in. You sit in silence before the noise of the day begins. That ritual is not discipline for discipline's sake. It is the daily consecration of your attention, the most valuable currency a man owns. And your attention has sharpened. You used to consume content the way a starving man eats fast food. Quick, cheap, unsatisfying. Now you hunt for signal in a sea of noise. You read books that make your mind ache. You listen to men who speak with weight. You study the greats not to imitate them, but to remember what a fully expressed man looks like. You are no longer entertained by mediocrity. You are repelled by it. That repulsion is holy. It is the soul protecting its trajectory. Another powerful indicator, you have begun to feel the weight of wasted time. Not guilt, not shame, weight. Every hour spent in distraction now registers in your body like a small theft. You catch yourself scrolling and feel a visceral tightening in your chest. You close the app, you stand up, you move towards something that matters. That visceral reaction is not weakness. That is the nervous system of a man who has remembered his own value. You are also becoming allergic to excuses. Your own first, others second. You used to accept explanations. I'm too busy, the market's tough, I don't have the capital. Now those words sound like surrender. You don't argue with them. You simply withdraw your energy from the conversation. You know excuses are armor for people who are afraid to be seen failing. You are no longer afraid to be seen failing. You are afraid of never trying. That shift brings solitude. You used to fear being alone. Now you crave it. You seek empty rooms, long drives, late-night walks, not to escape people, but to hear yourself clearly. In the silence, you meet the man who has been waiting beneath the masks, and that meeting is sacred. Solitude is no longer loneliness. It is your forge. You have started building systems instead of chasing motivation. Motivation used to be your fuel. When it left, you stalled. Now you build the machine that runs whether you feel like it or not. Daily writing, weekly deep work blogs, monthly reviews of inputs and outputs, quarterly resets. You treat your life like a business you intend to scale forever. That is not cold. That is reverence for potential. And because you build systems, you have begun creating real value. You no longer trade time for dollars mechanically. You ask, what problem can I solve at scale? What skill can I deepen until it becomes rare? What message can I deliver that cuts through the noise and lands in someone's soul? You give before you ask. You over-deliver before you charge. You plant seeds in dark soil and trust the unseen work. That is not optimism. That is knowledge of cause and effect. Your circle has changed, not because you cut people off dramatically, because your gravity changed. The people who once fit comfortably in your orbit now feel the distance. They sense you are moving towards something they are not yet willing to face. Some fall away naturally. Others rise to meet you. Either way, you no longer shrink to fit. You expand and let the world rearrange itself around the man you have become. You have also mastered emotional regulation. The old you reacted. Anger, fear, envy, pride. The new you observes. When jealousy arises, you do not suppress it. You ask, what is this pointing to that I want? When anger comes, you do not lash out. You channel it into fuel. When fear whispers, you do not run. You walk toward it, slowly, deliberately. You have turned emotion from master into messenger. That is not stoicism. That is sovereignty over the inner kingdom. Discernment has sharpened like a blade. You see through charisma to character. You see through promises to patterns. You see through urgency to motive. You no longer say yes to shiny opportunities that smell like distraction. You wait. You measure twice. You cut once. Patience is no longer passive. It is lethal precision. You are beginning to feel the pull of inevitability, not arrogance, not delusion, a quiet certainty. You look back at the man you were 3 years ago and realize he was not wrong. He was simply early. The doubts that once screamed now whisper. The obstacles that once looked like walls now look like training. The years that once felt long now feel like compound interest working in your favor. You are no longer hoping for wealth. You are watching it assemble itself around the structure you have built. And here is the deepest sign of all. You no longer pursue money. You attract it. Because money, true wealth, is lazy. It only moves toward value. It only stays with character. It only multiplies for men who have become safe to multiply around. You have become that man. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Enough that the energy of abundance has begun to recognize you. Enough that doors are opening without force. Enough that people are seeking you out, not for what you have, but for who you are becoming. So stand tall, my friend. You do not need permission. You do not need validation. You do not need another sign. You are the sign. The path is not ahead of you. It is beneath your feet, right now. Every choice you make today is laying track for the train that is already moving. Keep building. Keep refining. Keep saying no to anything that does not match the man you have decided to be. Wealth has already seen you. It is walking toward you, not because you chased it, but because you became the kind of man it cannot resist. It is no longer if, it is when. And when it arrives, you will not be surprised. You will simply nod, smile quietly, and say, I knew. Because you already do. Keep going. The best is not coming. It is already here, inside the man who chose to become worthy of it. You are that man. Now go act like it.